In this video, we are going to be talking about how to maximize the higher time frames when it comes to identifying your trend. So first thing first, if you have been struggling with the trend when you get on your price chart, I just want you to take a step back and breathe. This video is meant to help you. Let's go ahead and get the price note tool. So if y'all don't know, I love this thing. I use this on every single trade all the time. This is just such an amazing, simple tool to use. And the way you get it is if you come over to the T for text, over here, if you come under this icon and scroll down to price note tools, you're going to see it. Make sure you click and check that star by it to add to your favorites bar, okay? What you really want to do is just locate the first high and the low that you see. And it could be anywhere on your chart. I'm on the 4-hour time frame on pound USD. So we're going to just place the price note tool at the high, and then we're going to place it at the low. Right now, we just see that it just, went from 14228 down to 1.22737. So we want a starting point. Now, if you are asking yourself, well, how do you know which high and which low to choose? Listen to these questions that you can ask yourself. Why is this a high? And why is this high important? For some reason, price went all the way up to 1.24228 before decreasing. The question is, why did price stop? Why this exchange rate? Why did price stop here at this exchange rate and then decrease? That's the important question. The next question we're going to ask is, price just dropped. Why did price stop at this exchange rate, 1.22737, before increasing? Why? Why that exchange rate? So next, we're going to locate the next high or the next low depending on price movement. So we're going to mark out the next high, which is here. Why did price stop all the way at 1.25265 before decreasing? Why? We need to find that answer, okay? Now, we may not understand it directly. There could be some fundamentals, some type of catalyst, but we're going to ask ourselves that for a profit reason or a stop loss reason, okay? You'll see why when we, get more into this. So the next thing that we want to ask is, what direction is price really moving in? Let's just look at the first two highs that we have here. Anytime you have two consecutive highs, the higher highs, that means that price is going up. I'm going to take this price range tool. We're going to measure how many pips price moved up. Price moved up 103 pips. That is a full 1 penny or a full 1 cent move. Okay, remember 100 pips equals one. Remember that 100 pips equals 1 penny. Okay, so now we can say, okay, price moved up. So I want you to understand why your words matter, and you should speak this out loud. You're going to trade what you speak. If you just said that price went up, this just means that the buyers have control. Up means up trend. You are now the buyer. So position yourself as that when you're trying to identify the trend and you want to understand if you should be the buyer or the seller. So since we know that price went up, now we're going to take a look at the low price, which is at 1.22737. Watch this. Price went from 1.22737 up to 1.25625, about 250 pips or over 250 pips. This means that your next buying position should be above the last lowest price, which is at 1.22737. So now we want to see when we're back testing the trend or when we're trading, can price stay above it? And it did. We can see that price went down to, or it pulled back, because we're in an uptrend, it pulled back to 1.23441. For price to continue the uptrend, it needs to pass 1.25265. And did it do that? Yes, it did. Price went all the way up to 1.25476. Then it pulled back. Do y'all see how now when you're establishing the trend, you want to see if you can get consecutive higher highs, higher prices, right? Can it continue the up trend so that you can continue to be the buyer? So now we're going to locate the last low price, which is at 1.23441. Can price stay above this exchange rate? Because this is the exchange rate you're going to be buying above. Did it do that? Yes, it did. We can see that price did pull back. It did not pass or close below $1.23.441. Instead, price pulled back to 1.23537 and then continued higher. Now, as long as price keeps making these higher highs, we are in the uptrend. And we as the traders, you as a trader, are going to be buying above the higher low price, the very previous one. Now, you want to speak this out loud. Why? Sometimes we get so many things jumbled in our heads and we keep it in our heads that we don't take the same action on the price chart. How many of you have ever been there? But if you speak it out loud and then you put it on the chart, your chart art, you're going to want to trade that, right? So let's continue to do that. Now let's go over to the downtrend. Now, obviously, there needs to be a reversal, right? And so you can see here in this example on the 4-hour time frame that price had 2 consecutive higher highs and then a higher low. And we can see here that price did end up not only passing $1.25790, but she actually ended up pushing down and closing below. This is a strong downturn in the market. Now, I want to show this example because sometimes when it comes to trend, things are not as perfect, right? Now, we can see that we do have a fluctuation here. We had a low, lower low, lower high, lower low price here. Okay, let's get this lowest wick. And we always want to make sure that we're putting this price note tool on the important wicks that matter, the highest and the lowest, okay? Now, we can see here, if we look to the right, we're going to always continue looking to the right. As y'all can see, we trade to the right, okay? Price did pass 1.25399. And at this point, we could have said, okay, this looks like price could be reversing. But what ended up happening? What ended up happening was price actually came and created a new lower low. And sometimes in the market, this is going to happen based on the liquidity in the market. So this is why we got to give our trades some wiggle room whenever we are trading, because if we wanted to sell below 1.25339, which this would have been a very great time to look for a sale, can we give ourselves enough wiggle room so if price does come and try to push us out of this trade, that it can keep us in the trade when liquidity strikes, or when now at this price there are a few more buyers than sellers, because in order for us to sell, we need those buyers in the market. And while we're selling, can they buy this from us, right? So that we can be able to get into the sale, and then can these sellers come back into the market and push price down? So this is something that, we need to look at when we're trading. I know I'm starting to look at it a lot more, not to have those jam-packed stop losses, but to give a little bit more wiggle room. Now, you see that we have a new low. So in this case, this low here at 1.25489 has a lot more significance, okay? So this low here has a lot more significance. Now the question is, how do we know that price is in the true downtrend? Well, because we have now 2 consecutive lower lows. The lower lows shows us or provides us evidence that price is still in a downtrend, and we are going to sell below the high price at $1.25489. And the difference between these two lower lows here is around 24 pips. So trade what you speak. Price is going down. Sellers are in the market. You are going to join in as a seller. You're going to maximize this downtrend. So the question is, can price stay below $1.25489 or 1.25489? And it did. It created a new low. It pulled back to 1.25105 and stopped, and then it made a new lower low. Once again, consecutively, this is pricing, hey, we are in a downtrend. Question is, can it stay below 1.25105 so we can become the sellers, right? And it did. Yes, it can, and we would have been selling below this exchange rate in order to maximize the downtrend. You guys, this is how we trade in a currency market, okay? As you can see, I've not even plotted structure in this video. If you're having a hard time establishing a trend or identifying whether you should be the buyer or seller, one of the first things you need to do is just take the breather, take a breath, erase everything on your price chart. The second thing you need to do is look at the asset that you're trading and ask yourself, is this a currency that trends, or is this one that causes confusion? Because you're either going to want a trending pair or you want a confusion pair. Sometimes confusion can be where, in this example here, where it looks like price could be reversing and it doesn't, and then it goes back in this direction, and then it keeps doing the same thing over and over and over again, which means the trend is not steady, it is not stable, it is not consistent, because we trade moments in the market. And we want moments where there can be some really great trend trading opportunities that don't trip us up. The third thing that you're going to want to do is not only just look at the asset that you're trading, but establish, is price in the downtrend so I can be the seller, or is price in an uptrend so that I can be the buyer? And on what time frame would that look like for me to establish that? Your higher time frame could be the 4 hour, where you enter on one lower time frame, right? Your higher time frame could be the daily, and then you enter on one lower time frame higher. Or watch this, your higher time frame can be the 4 hour, and you use a pending order so you don't have to drop down in time frames. That way you don't have to use the multiple time frame analysis system, because you're saying, hey, this is already the best price in which I can buy or sell from. So instead of me dropping down to try to trade at this structure, I'll just put a pending order at that structure, and then we'll see what the outcome may be. Both are very acceptable, right? Where either you're entering the trade at market order using that lower time frame, or you're using a pending order. But first, establish, can I identify the trend, and what does it look like? And what does it look like when liquidity does come into the market, right? When at this moment, even though I am selling off and I want to see there be more sellers, what happens when those temporary buyers come back and push the market up? How many more pips do I need to set aside for wiggle room? This is how we maximize the trend when these moments happen. Once again, we have no structure here that gives evidence that price is going to continue down. What we have are the lows and the highs, the most important prices in downtrends, the most important prices in uptrends. Once you start to plot these on your chart, it becomes easier to trade what you see, because after you establish the trend, after you establish who's in control, then you can plot structure and say, okay, I see the downtrend. Now let me plot structure to where I want to enter so I can maximize the sell in the downtrend. I can maximize the buys in an uptrend. You guys, this is how we identify the trend. So once again, take a breath, look at your asset. Is it a trending asset? Can it continue to trend this way? And remember, these are just moments that we are trading. Trading is moments, because we don't know how long these moments will last. These trends will last. We don't know how far price will pull back. And it takes patience to wait for the pullback. It takes patience to wait for the entry. It takes patience to wait for the outcome. That's why everything we do is all about governing ourselves, being patient to see the outcome, being patient to manage the trade. And if we could just take a step back and breathe through our trades and figure out what time frame works for us so we can capture these moments, that is when we can understand, okay, this is the way I'm supposed to trade. So I want y'all to understand this as you go on your trading journey. What do your moments look like on the price charts when you're identifying the trend? Do this. You guys, make sure that you comment and subscribe. Make sure you like the video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Y'all go be blessed.